Hello, esteemed viewers. Welcome to yet another episode of the Busitema University Television. My name is Edison Masreka, your host for today. And on site today, we are having a 13th Guild President of Busitema University, and that is none other than His Excellency Engiro Marcel. As BUTV, we are having him to tell us how the journey has been and how it's been in office and the achievements and the challenges and the future plans in his tenure as the 13th Guild President of Busitema University. Your Excellency, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
We are glad to have you today.
Thank you.
So you will briefly introduce yourself to our viewers and tell us how the journey has been, Your Excellency.
Thank you. Thank you. Greetings to each and everyone. My name is Engiro Marcel, the Guild President of Busitema University. I am also a fourth-year student of Water Resources Engineering. First and foremost is I want to appreciate this team for coming up with this brilliant idea. Of course, it's the first of a kind, and I'm very proud that it's beginning at the tenure when I'm still in office. It excites me very much, and most possibly is this is a venture that we have to take forward and use it because it is one that steers forward the visibility of our university. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, and thank you for having taken your time to be with us today. I understand how tight your schedule is. You have to balance the different campuses in 6 different districts, and then your own student work. You have to represent us at other forums outside the university. I understand how tight your schedule can be. So we are really glad to have us today. So to kickstart this conversation today, I want you to tell us the achievements so far in your tenure as the Guild President of Busitema University.
Well, thank you. I sworn into office on the 25th, 2022, after which we immediately dashed into examinations, and for us from the Faculty of Engineering, we went for internship. Of course, it's school practice in the campus that we have in there. Yeah, of course, we later came back on the 9th of May, that was to resume official business. And there we were. Of course, during that tenure, we were to host the freshers ball. We held it successfully because now the target stores were around campus and we deemed it necessary to be held at that period. Events, of course, continue to unroll, unfolding in different ways. We've had ourselves represented in different fora, where I personally was at Fort Portofel GBR Summit, of course, representing our university. I have represented the university in so many WUSA forums, and of course that made WUSA even identify us and make us channel in most of their sessions with different media personalities, different TV channels, and so far, so good. Of course, it's not an easy journey, but most importantly is we thank God. We are glad that secondly to our own Miss Fresher contests here, we were able to pick one that was able to represent us at an international level. We thank that lady so very much. Of course, our flag was very high, and of course the visibility continued to be pushed forward. We were also able to host the first Federation of the Eastern Africa Games, where we had over 12 countries from around Africa come to Busitema University. Wow, that was one brilliant thing that we of course thank God for. Then a lot of course, so many things in there, but we can't forget the most celebrated achievement that we recorded recently. That is the pay rise of the living out allowances for our government students. Yeah, it's something that we must thank God for. You know, we have had guilds come in and get out, speak about the same thing, but rather remaining in that way. Yes, so we thank God for that.
And talking about that pay rise, we see a lot of inflation going on around the university. The government students have received money for 6 semesters. So we want to know why that move. It's not been done like that before. Why give them money for 6 semesters, even semesters that they haven't studied? Why is that, and why has the university at this particular time chosen to give the government students their money
Thank you.
once you
Thank you very much, Mr. Host, once again. The reason is this, our guide. When the ministry specifically received the documentation on this regard, they got to outline and be like, what does Busitema actually need? So most importantly was that identification. By the way, let me also remind the public that there is a forthcoming renovation of all halls of residence in Busitema University.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's something that is forthcoming. And we also talked of certain things like the Wi-Fi connectivity has been improved lately, where, you know, of course, they are starting with the main campus. This we don't have to debate about it. And then there is this other aspect of lately we recorded an increase in the seats. Actually, the academics minister communicated a few days ago that Mbale and Arapai shall be the first to be considered as we go in that phased manner. Coming back to respond to the issue at hand, when government received that request, they managed to channel a supplementary budget was channeled to the university of 2.1 billion Uganda shillings, specifically meant for feeding and living out allowances for our government students. Of course, it came through the university. That meant that the head of administration and university business, the vice chancellor, alongside with his university secretary, traveled to the ministry to question why all these areas are portioned at such a time. A debate was raised upon where they talked about it. If only the university suggested to the ministry if they could allow to release this money in bits. The ministry did not confer with that. All they replied to the university was, if you're taking the money, take. If it is otherwise, then the financial year is coming to an end and therefore it's going to do what? To bounce back. Of course, who can ever dare allow to do that? To lose that out. So that's what caused about that whole thing. We had a lot of questions asked to, because these are young people receiving those fat sums of money. Some absolutely have no plans. Probably it's the biggest sum they've ever received in their lives. But it is also one way of learning the hard way. If you cannot control your own resources, then who do you want to control? So
is there like a plan of guiding them on financial literacy? You gather them and you guide them so that they don't squander this money?
Well, that is very right, because like you said, ours is to guide, and whoever takes it in can either take it or not. Financial literacy classes are really being organized. We are working alongside some banks within that can come along and guide students. Of course, how they can utilize this money appropriately, because we have fixed deposits accounts that can generate them back this money in the long run, and of course with profits. So the financial literacy classes are being organized, and we shall definitely contribute.
So, Your Excellency, we are having a race coming up where we have to fill the vacant position of the guild speaker for the Busitema University. What is in store for us? I know we are going to vote this Friday on the 1st. What is the plan yet for, in as far as filling up that post is concerned?
Yes, the Justice Minister made it very clear to the public that everyone is liable to contest for this. And the CGRC, the ICGRC shall be the electorate for that day. So absolutely on plan is we shall be having selections held in Palisa campus. And I call upon all the applicants to showcase their potential within. Basically that, and yeah, the better candidates are winning.
Okay, and that comes with a proposed constitutional amendment of the Busitema University Constitution. What is it about? What exactly are we planning to amend?
You know, this is the 13th Guild government, 2022, and so far we are working on a constitution that was approved by council, of course, in 2009, as amended. We have had amendments in 2011, we have amendments in 2013. We've had so many amendments. Actually, even the previous Guild had amendments. But I want to assure you colleagues that even when we stepped into office, we're not so informed of these amendments. You come to this article, this constitution stipulates that, then the other article in the other constitution stipulates the otherwise. So there is really need to restore sanity in our Guild constitution, specifically in preparation for the incoming Guild leaders. That's why we have deemed it very necessary to have this act done. Of course, the entire legal procedures are being involved, so that we can have everything aligned in the right legal manner.
Okay. And why do the students stand to benefit from What do the students stand to benefit? If I know if it's to be amended, then the students should stand to benefit if it's been infringing on their rights, something like that in one way or another. What do you expect out of the amendment?
Basically, the constitution we are amending is a guild constitution, and the students in this case are the guild leaders. So we are certain they will be guided, the houses will be guided going forward in the next coming meeting. Basically that, yeah.
We can't wait to see what exactly it's going to be like. And at that same time also we get a shocking news that the constitutional minister has been dismissed. At the time when you are going to vote with the paper, at the time when you are proposing to amend the constitution, then you hear the constitutional minister has been dismissed. What is your take on that, Mr. President?
Yeah, constitution minister has
guide
been
us.
dismissed and another has already come in place. So there is already a continuity as I speak. But yeah, on the issue of the dismissal, one is I'll just inform the public that it's a complicated matter, and of course it's going to be very difficult for everyone to understand quickly. But basically, the way up is the way down, and the guild has one executive head.
Okay.
Thank you. I submit in that regard.
Who has filled the position? Who is the new minister in that position?
Actually, yeah, it was communicated in that same document. Honorable JJ Jacob Joekali is being instituted in that position. For those that read the document can clearly understand.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. President. Finally, you're going to tell us the challenges so far. What have been the challenges in your tenure? I understand the nature of Busitema University is big, it is scattered into districts and physical locations. What have been your other challenges in you executing your roles as a guild president?
Of course, one is transport. Friends, the issue of transporting yourself from campus to campus is a major stumbling block. Well, we really have the eye to serve. We have the eye to serve to know what happens at Arapai, what is really going on in Namasagali, what about Palisa, Mbali, Nagongera, mention them. What really is going on? But trust me, you're going to plan a journey to Arapai, and you have to maneuver through taxis here and there. Sometimes, of course, it retards and discourages. Recently, I lost my national ID. I lost a bag, having some money, something of the kind, simply because of these tragedies of public transport. So that is one major obstacle. And of course, being multi-campus still, there is a lot of complexity in all these aspects. You find people understand things in the way they perceive, and not in the way things are really unfolding. Okay, because you'll hear this speak about this here, the other speak about a lot of same thing, but a lot of versions of it. So it is one thing that we can't, of course, escape away from, but it's also one reality that we have to accept going forward. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but challenges are part of life. They come along with everything, and yeah, basically that among the very many challenges that we would speak about today, tomorrow, and forever and ever.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. And finally, I understand that your tenure is coming to an end. Of course, we have had a very compressed academic year, and which means that you're not going to be in office for a very long time from now. So for the next remaining few months when you're in office, what are the plans? What is there to be done, and what are you planning to achieve?
Well, thank you. Recently, it was on the 10th of July, the 10th of June. We had a meeting at UTC Elgon in Bali, where we converged as all guild leaders from the Eastern region, alongside the Right Honorable Speaker of the Parliament who was around, the RDC in Bali, plus some also executives that came along. Yes, resolutions and discussions were mainly on some of the aspects going forward, and one was the sports gala, the culture gala that we are planning about. Yes, we are planning a mega culture gala that I managed to convince, allow me to use the word convince, the August House, that as Busitema University, we have all it takes to host this. Then, of course, we have guild projects coming up. We have a lot of guild projects. I proposed to council a few days back that instead of having a lot of idle land kept idle in the university, why can't the guild partake of this land and begin to plant trees? Yes, council looked into it, and of course they gave me a go ahead. So these are guild projects we're talking about. Of course, the long talked of guild canteens. Yes, the long talked of guild canteens is one. Of course, we are looking into public-private partnerships here and there to foster development in a very quick and easier way. You get the point. And of course, we also thank the university for reinstating our health sector. I am glad to inform the entire Busitema University fraternity that our mega health center for unit being constructed in one of our campuses to cater for all students, if possible, of Busitema University is coming to completion. Certainly, by July we expect. I mean by September we expect something better in that stand. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And then your final shots to the students, what do they expect? What do you say to someone out there who wishes to join Busitema University? What is our uniqueness as Busitema University?
Many campuses, one goal. Yes, different campuses, one Busitema University. So to the entire public outside there, of course, I want to tell you, we could not be as smart as anyone would wish. Of course, like any other institution, we have shortcomings. We have shortcomings, but yes, Busitema is one to look into, because when you look at the next 5-10 year future prospects of this university, you see another Harvard coming around the eastern region of Uganda. So I want to give clear stance to those students outside there that we are restoring sanity in some of these sectors. Recently, we had a lot of students with graduation issues here and there. But yes, with a little sanity that we have already tried to reinstate somewhere, somehow, we're able to have the students graduate out. These are the things we are talking about. The policies have to be revised. Policies have to be revised to favor students because everyone in an institution like this one is here for the students. So first priority must be us going forward. So to the viewers, to the listeners outside there, I encourage you to look no further than this great university.
Okay. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for having offered your time to be with us today despite your busy schedule. As BUTV, we are very glad and we shall continue interacting with you to see that we foster the visibility of our university and to see that we can take our university to the next level. From myself and the rest of the team behind the scenes, thank you all for having been part of this episode. My name is Edison Masareka, a second-year student of a bachelor's in education languages. Thank you so much for having been part of today's show. Until next time, see you again.